That's why those higher dimensional truths, we're not going to be here always in perfect boundaries, because there's no such thing as perfect boundaries here. When you're in a 3D, reality where we have to be true to where we are, so I can hold the higher perspective, but know that we're moving towards that. It's the same with family. Like, we know they deplete us.
I really want to believe this, because I feel...
Believe what?
That we're moving towards something greater, and and it will start changing even in our real lifetime right now, that I start seeing some little shifts here and there. I'm not waiting for me to levitate or whatever, but if it's going to be health, or it's going to be creativity, or manifesting some people that you start to feel a little bit more connected, because
what it is, and this is what came to me before when you were saying something earlier, but then you went, but there was some clear, and I know this seems again obvious, but it's like another aha moment. But like I said, there's the let's say organic, non-organic side in this whole reality, and the difference would be, like, again, the tree that is organic can reproduce. The tree that is inorganic, it's a hologram, and it cannot create. That's why actually in some way we feel trapped in ourselves, because especially being an older soul, when there's a percent of us right now that's running a program, we miss more of the aspect of us that is the unlimited creator. That's why we feel kind of like you said, you've heard the music, you've done this before, because we've done it before, because we remember having a higher percentage of that unlimited creator being. And then this reality kind of shuts. I mean, that's a big topic, but what my point is, what I wanted to say, I start thinking about, you see, what keeps us trapped in this reality is the fear, but it's fear of actually both aspects. It's tricky, because you have to, let's say, in your own self, discern, okay, this is my program running. This part cannot, really create something out of it's very predictable. That's why we're so predictable, and especially most humans, because they have a huge percentage that is the program, the one that cannot, and then they have a smaller percent that is the unpredictable creator. But the tricky part is how not to fear either of those parts. Recognize them, including the program, because again, they're making it like, oh, the technology aspect, the program aspect is going to be, let's say, bad. You have no control over it. It's scary. But that's only because they're inserting that belief. When we change the belief, then even the program that cannot create, it stops. It's almost like it just stops running. The infinite creator pieces will start coming in. But see, this is the part, because this came to my mind too when you said, I want, in this reality, for things to change. We want that evidence, you see, that we're gonna, all of a sudden, we're gonna be able to fly, and we're gonna be able to this, and all the good things that we want. But actually, it's tricky, because we also have to stop fearing the programmed self.
Well, when I'm saying something like that I hope that we're gonna start seeing some changes in the reality, and I just give that 3 examples, whatever gonna be health, creativity, or having company, the people who can inspire you or understand. It comes from me feeling so I start to feel dissociated. I start feel like exactly like the theater that I was playing. I'm start losing completely interest about this.
Yes, but
care.
you see, this is the most important part, what I'm saying. You are interpreting that as wrong. That is the fear. That's really important. Because, and I know it's hard because we want out. But to get out, like what I said to my father, even when he was laughing, I said, whoa, I'm scared of the people in this reality that are not depressed. Depression seems like a pretty good response to the reality that we're in. And it's uncomfortable, but it's the belief that it shouldn't be, that you shouldn't be feeling the way that you are feeling right now. And that's the inserted fear, which makes us stuck, which makes us in that, locks us in that time. And I'm not saying anything, you know, this is something that we all have to...
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
It's like your response is, and especially when you see the bigger picture and you can see why you have a migraine, it'll make sense that you have the migraine. We just feel like something is running us because the system, you see, got hijacked. We lost control here of the both organic and non-organic side. The power, the sovereignty of both has been stolen, manipulated, so it seems foreign to us. Even actually the organic side, even. Yeah, you see? That's true, because, okay, so the organic side is the side that can create new. But even that got stolen because of when we get also arrogant light and the curiosity, that's also another wound that we're carrying. Like, how did we create as the whole universe and everything, you know, before that? We also have to let go and heal the fear of our own creation. Like, what new we can create, because obviously this experiment of what we created didn't quite go as planned, right? So it's actually both, like, how not to fear, how to keep creating and not fearing, whoa, if I create something new, like we did before, what happens if this, you know, somebody steals it, or, you know, all of those kinds of things. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, this can keep going down the rabbit hole, because right away...
Yeah, but you see, let's say, okay, again, for me it's examples, right? Human level.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I have a conversation with my friend from Poland, and she talk about how depressed she feel, and I talk how depressed I feel right now. But what is missing is saying we have 100% right to feel the way we feel right now.
Exactly, that's why authenticity is the highest form of spirituality.
Actually, it will be crazy if we don't feel depressed right now. I say, look around. This is the response to the reality that we are experiencing right now. But knowing that we are actually powerful creator, and we want to change that reality. That's when the Abraham kick in. From the depression, it's anger. That's one step up. Because anger already brings the action. Anger can start bringing solution. You know, and then you start having hope, and then you start having joy, or whatever. You changing the vibrations. So, listen, what I think most of the people right now, at least big majority, experiencing, they have no reason. They don't see a reason to be. Like, they cannot what was killed in that process. Before they were just working, they know after they stop working, they're gonna have retirement, and they may be gonna start traveling or whatever. They're gonna live
But
the
what
life.
does that really mean? No reason.
They don't see.
I will tell you why. And then they say always ask why, ask why, ask why. The biggest problem is, again, and this is, look, you shouldn't feel the way you do. You shouldn't be the way you are. And look at this, why it has to come to balance. Because the light does the same thing to the dark as the dark does to the light. The light goes, you shouldn't be this, that. What you said exactly, you validated having the conversation with your friend in Poland, that when you said to her, actually being depressed, I'm depressed too, and it's a normal response to this environment, instead of telling her, because look, if you were in high light polarity, you would go to her, oh, you shouldn't feel depressed, look at all the beautiful things in life, you create your own reality, blah 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 blah. Which makes that person go, I shouldn't feel the way that I feel. That's literally the biggest running program, which creates fear. Because everything, that's why we start feeling foreign to our own self. And then if you were a dark person, and she said that I'm depressed, right? Then you would do, several things. If you're very evil, you will destroy that person. If you are just dark, you will start wanting company to your own dark aspects, having, conversations about that. But actually, the highest dark, what it would do, it would just be silent. That is the worst thing we can do, you see. If she says I'm depressed and you say nothing, that's worse than you even destroying her. How they say indifference is the opposite of love. Why we feel like everything doesn't matter, how you just said that it feels, again, it's because we are not giving each other true recognition, which that is really the love, holding space for you.
Acceptance. It's acceptance. It's
that. It's just that when I think of the word accept, it already, to me, almost like implies, but I know what you mean, that's true, but it almost implies that there's something wrong that has to be accepted, when it's just understanding would be kind of a closer word. Recognition.
That's the taste of the peace that I was talking about, because again, it's a polarity. I feel in some weird way peaceful, which I'm almost questioning if this is inertia or this is peace. But I feel more peace than inertia. Inertia feels different.
But in general?
In general, also about people in my life, I feel like it's okay. It's okay. I know who they are, and they have their own path. If they will come to me, I'll be there for them, but I don't need to fight for them anymore.
Because because you're a star seed, and what that means is that the mirror from the other side, the spirit really, because if the spirit wasn't coming more through me, like we got activated, we start finally having the mirror that we're longing for, the recognition that we're feeling, that we're able to, and look how this is here. What is my biggest struggle in the human part, which is the other side, you see, the polarity part, because there's me in the angelic realms and stuff, I'm starting to feel connected with that. But look what I'm longing for from humans. I want them to not tell me you're being too negative, or you shouldn't think that way, or you shouldn't, be whatever, feeling how you're feeling, or you shouldn't need to take kratom or whatever judgment. It's always the judgment. That's why judgment from that way is the biggest, what holds us back. Because when, let's say, even whenever we come with two people, that's how I said, like, God is actually a we. In oneness, it's a we. It's never alone. There's always has to be another, so we can have an experience.
Reflection.
But look, when you and Mariola say, I'm depressed too, I understand, and then that's the co-creation would be finding not even a solution sometimes, but simply what now? Like,
how we can change,
not even change, because change is already going to imply that there's something wrong. But yeah, it's uncomfortable to, it doesn't mean, you can say that the same way. Yeah,
you're
no.
craving changes.
Yeah. You're correct. Because
when
changing, otherwise
craving,
we wouldn't want to change anything in this reality either. But it's understanding why it is the way that it is, how it came, seeing the whole story, and then together finding a solution, or simply, doing something fun, like whatever.
What a solution, whatever. If you're doing something fun, you already have some solution.
Well, I'm just saying, when the reality is like a better reality and we don't have to save the world, then, oh, today I feel this, you look at each other and then you go swim in the ocean. It becomes like a flow. Now it's, how are we going to save the children? And, but everybody is, you shouldn't. Look at how crazy that is. That's the biggest thing. Look at social media right now. Everything that is programmed, the fear program, from both sides, from the organic side too. Because you shouldn't have, been a fallen angel and descended, and you shouldn't have manipulated the DNA. That's what it's going to be in the higher, when we understand the bigger picture. And, you shouldn't have mummified my uncle, or like whatever it's going to be.
Mummified my cat.
And you shouldn't call your, like how Magenta said that somebody got mad at her because she called her cat multidimensional, because you shouldn't have called your cat multidimensional. Cats are not multidimensional. It's all this shouldn't. You shouldn't be for this president. You should be for that. Should. And nobody's finding any solutions to anything. That's the biggest thing, and we're in some way addicted to that.
That's what actually makes me feel depressed, because
yeah, it's fucking depressing.
No, because this is depressing when you feel that kind of mental hospital around you, and you also start questioning your own sanity, because how this is possible that more people is crazy than not, and you feel like
no, they're not. Nobody's crazy. That's the big lie. None of us are crazy. We're just a response to the current circumstances. And then the biggest thing is, again, the trust of our creation.
There's so many people who are literally a zombie. They never question anything. They never try anything. They are going to be the first one who are going to be followers of new rules.
Yeah, but that's because they have like I said, it's a program that's here on Earth right now. It's running that aspect of them. They have a very small aspect of the free true will. Creation, unlimited. Your unpredictability is your greatest power. That's why they've mastered mind control to the degree they have here. Why starseeds had to volunteer to come in here, and we got mind controlled to a big degree. That's why our body feels even to us foreign, because a lot of it is also a repetition. It cannot create new. It's just repeating. It can remember amazing things, even certain information that I'm receiving. It's not all necessarily from the unlimited You see, that's why music is the most, because it's the most unpredictable. But a lot of the information, it's already exists. I'm not creating new. That's why our creativity through exactly singing, dance, that's when I'm creating new. That's when I'm pulling in the codes from that side. And I could merge that with information that I'm receiving, but the information is like a technology, really. Which again, because I have the heart aspect, that, higher aspect of me, I am using the information I'm getting for positive. Because look, if somebody didn't have the heart, and all the information I'm channeling recently, and they don't have the heart, I could use this for evil.
Oh yeah. No, for your own evil, just feeding your own,
Yeah. Which still, I'll have to watch myself because I'm not 100%, Plus, I don't want to be. We want to be balanced. It's just recognizing and being a conscious creator, recognizing that it's also good to have something that is a program because, you see, when we are, this is important. Imagine a child. A child needs a parent. Why? Because their imagination, it's unlimited, but it's unlimited to the point they're gonna hurt themselves. All of those things that say, to have this technology, you have to be at a certain consciousness. The problem is they handed the technology to children. If we were children that never grow up, never learn the consequences, and we have just infinite creative ability in a reality that goes into any type of denseness, better be careful, Remember our conversation with Source, the creation addict? He's just like this madman on a cloud. Poof, I wonder, what would happen if I created a couple of unicorns? Or, what if I mixed this DNA up with Twinkle Blinkle, a couple strands of Lizard the Blizzard? So actually bringing in the responsibility and the technology used in a responsible way, it balances out this
well, that's why
it's not good if it's unpredictable to the point where we can create new and new and new.
That's why we are so important in the universe right now, because we come to very dense experience where you feel pain, where you feel all the sensation, when you feel emotion, because you know what can happen if you are not careful, if you are exactly like a child and not responsible.
From both sides.
Yes, I say you experience, this is again going back to my famous, now you can, because you experience all. When I was saying I'm choosing this over this, but what the voice was saying, now you can choose because you know what you're talking about.
I mean, the older soul that we are, the more hopefully we know what we're talking about, simply because we've been on both ends of the stick. So to the best of our ability, we can, based on those experiences, experiencing all of that, choose wisely how to merge the balance onto this timeline. We have been there where we've gotten technology that was advanced and we didn't really use it responsibly, or we used it too fast, or so that's why we're here too, preventing that from going down right now. If this is this time period is the old Atlantis.
You can there is no miracles, there is technology, there is understanding. How to use energy.
No, there are miracles. What do you mean there's no miracles?
No, we call them miracles, but every miracle have explanation.
No.
Yes. okay, I'm going, okay, macro, micro. Micro, it's a miracle. Macro, there is no miracles. There is an explanation for every miracle.
No.
So there must be science, some kind of science. No, even if somebody gonna move their hands, okay, move their hands in the air and create
like
from thin air
magic,
anything,
not
flower,
miracle.
something, diamond. There is some kind of technology behind this or science behind this. It's a different
That's
type
just
of
alchemy. That's just
alchemy.
That's
okay,
just.
But alchemy is science, my dear.
No, I know,
Alchemy
but
science.
I'm just saying by you saying there's no, it's all definitions. There's no such thing as a miracle. A miracle really is something that is unpredictable. There exists explanations and miracles on every density, from the highest to the lowest. Each one has it because it'll be in proportion to, so source itself, when it divided itself in something like surprised and whoa, I didn't know, or the music that you played, the music here is a good example. That's a miracle. It's
Well, think about if you will show someone 20 years ago or 30 years ago one of the technological things that you can do with the technology right now, they will think this was miracle.
Yeah, because there's endless expansion. So yeah,
hold on. They will think this was miracle. Not that long ago. If you go 100 years ago or 200 years ago, they will run away. They will think you are an angel.
I know what you're saying, but there's always the unpredictability. That is the creator. The creator is the miracle itself. The rest of it is...
But again, being responsible creator, you have to understand that
non-creation. Non-creation. The non-creation is what I'm saying right now. I recognize the aspects of me that are a program. They cannot reproduce. They cannot create anything new. I'm recognizing also the unlimited point of view. That is, and we're merging the two. So, a miracle, I guess, it gets down to what a definition of a miracle would be. And to each person, that's why miracles exist all over if it's going to be something new to the person experiencing it. But generally, just as the biggest macro, there wouldn't be endless expansion if there wasn't always that spark of unpredictability, the new.
Like everybody's ceiling is somebody's floor. So every macro is somebody's micro.
Exactly.
So I understand it, but that's what I'm saying. From the macro, you start seeing from the balcony. You're seeing, like I can see right now how I will react in 60s if you will show up with the cell phone. How much my consciousness change and expand, and I understand also science behind this right now. I do believe that God, or creator or source, it's a one giant scientist. That's what I say. If I ever fear God, I fear that knowledge of science. What is biology?
I would say an artist. I wouldn't say a scientist.
Okay, well, I think scientist, because even, artist and scientist.
No, you're not merging the two. That's why they say we're merging spirituality and science. It's just definitions right now, but science is everything.
Well, think about this way. Spirituality was introduced to us through what? Through art.
That what?
Most of spirituality was introduced to us, to humanity, through art. Image of God, image of angels, people painting, rzeźby. This is all art. Writing, books, verses.
Yeah, but that's
poetry.
a very narrow, that's spirituality is a big...
Yeah, but what we're doing right now, we're merging these two. We start understanding through the verses of Bible, almost decoding what was behind that poetic blah blah weird words. We start understanding through science.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, because you said Source is a scientist, and I said Source is an artist, and it's just definitions, because science, I looked up right now the definition of science. Science is the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. You see, science doesn't contain the unexplainable. It keeps trying to. And that's what Mariusz, he wants science. I want science. Because he wants, there would be no miracles if everything was scientifically provable. Most of reality, you see, that's why science, we can actually see it going backwards. I don't know, it's like the uncreation, but you are finding it, like right now, you're remembering it. Through the remembering it, and that has to do with the observer. That's why the outcome of the experiment even changes if something is observing it, that whole thing. But the most beautiful thing, I guess, in the whole, and also scary, is that element where Source itself is an unpredictable musician, artist that can create something completely new. But then, you know, you could add to the definition, it's just a definition. In science, science would contain new.
Well, when I was saying scientist, I was saying the knowledge of biology, creation of, you know...
Yeah, but God's more than that, like Source, right?
Chemist, biology, physics, mathematics, you know, then sound. Sound is also science.
Sound can be a science, but music, that's the spirit. That's the miracle.
You know, that all these things, someone who's have exactly bring life to all of these toys, because we are like these toys.
Exactly.
That movie,
that's why I was saying it goes backwards, you see, because you have to bring life to the stuff to understand it. It's almost like science works backwards. Does that kind of make sense? Like, we had to experience it to observe it. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it had to come into manifestation to be observed. But everything new coming into manifestation cannot be proven by science yet. That's the part that is constantly that new.
I think never will be completely explained. It's just...
No, because there would be no expansion.
That's what I'm saying. We're just progressing, you know. I'm not so surprised about what I'm experiencing today. Even if somebody will try to explain it to me when 40 years ago.
Look, this how this just tied my point that I was trying to make before, how I said about that to curb the enthusiasm of infinite creation and stuff. You see, that's the learning. That's you create, you don't even know, like a song, it just came out of you. Then you work backwards to understand it. And when you have those two pieces, that's that balance point, is where you can, you know, from this experience of this universe, because we did that the same, like how we wanted to go into the density and see what it was like that, like, whoa, I just sang the song and exploded, now let me go get to know myself. Through the scientific observation, we are getting to know thyself, then returning to that point while simultaneously seeding new songs, melding them. But now, that's why the knowledge is so important, because everything we got to know, that's where we can be a responsible parent, so the child with its imagination doesn't create harm. You see, there you go. Be careful what you dream, because your dreams, when I channeled that, we said, because your dreams can also harm. Dream for the all, not just for yourself. A child, in some way, has to be taught that, because there's something a little bit selfish, and it's good. The selfishness is good, but it has to be balanced, and that's where this system does exactly look. If they don't show you when you're a kid the importance of community, of connection, look what it does. That's the polarity here that happened. So it's the lesson of, again, balancing the two, science, spirituality, and then how to understand, because when you understand, when we know thyself, which contains both organic and non-organic, then we can go and have another experience and also avoid what we learned. But the main point that I was trying to make like 30 minutes ago, this has to be tied together, why I said why it's so tricky, because when we become the responsible parent, the whole collective, that'll be like the true understanding. That's that feeling I had when I came outside and I said, whoa, every single neighbor that I don't know, I don't even know who's living in that apartment, they are essential. And I felt that aha moment, kind of like a deeper knowingness. At some point, those neighbors that we don't know right now, we will all be like a big family reunion when we can really see the whole picture. That is when, only then, and this already happened. That's why from the future timeline we could see that this ascended, because to ascend, no one left behind. That doesn't mean that some of us aren't walking faster. It's a pace, but nobody left behind. They have to all see, because that's the only way we can avoid more mistakes, to avoid creating that kind of harm, because we will all understand why it's important to keep the balance, to not use the technology in destructive ways or hoard it for yourself. And this is both, if it's for good or for bad. That's why the light, when it had technology, eventually somebody hijacked it, and vice versa. It's like both of us have to come to a mutual understanding, non-judgment, understanding, solution, micro, macro. It's literally like that. And it's not a utopia. And then we can, each of us, experience whatever is that understanding, mutual understanding. Within that understanding, we can all experience different things, but the polarity of extreme suffering and, torture and all that, and then the light sitting in its ego playing its little flute while, others are suffering in density and they're just like, wah. That has to be come to.
Okay, I'm done. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Get me off of here. I'm playing that flute.
Yeah.
I'm crying here.
It's like, I'm bored.
I'm bored. Wow. Damn. Okay.
That's actually what happened, because when I said we sang the song and then we went to scientifically examine it, to observe the song that we sang, it was like, that's actually the lesson. Like, don't go past like, it's okay to leave half of the song in the unknown. this is really important, actually. You see, people like Mariusz and stuff, they want to, and this ties back to that antimatter. I said maybe it's a good thing they're not finding, they cannot figure out what it is. And when those people stop fucking trying to have to figure it out, because that's was the lesson. Make peace. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to go scientifically find every damn particle in the universe. And you don't have to examine every part of your song and why you sang it and da-da-da. Leave the part that is the mystery. You know?
Okay, enough. You're killing me.
I'm killing you. You called me. Okay.
Yeah, this was a 10 minutes conversation before I want to go to sleep. How long I talked to you right now?
An hour and 42 minutes and 31 seconds, of which I recorded on audio only 57 minutes, so half of it I got.
Dobra.